Hello everybody, my name is Alana and I am the host of the show Follow Alana, IO Taiwan, and I'm really excited to be meeting and talking with you guys today. Actually, I was born profoundly deaf, so I didn't have any hearing at all when I was born. At the time, we didn't have medical checks at the hospital for hearing. They do now, thankfully, but when I was born, they didn't know I was deaf until about 8 to 10 months when my mom noticed that I wasn't responding to a lot of sounds, like there would be a really loud noise or she would sing to me and I would have no response, and I also wasn't responding to my name. There's one story that I always remembered in kindergarten, and there was a group of friends and I really wanted to meet them. I wanted to play with them, and I'm a very outgoing kid, so I went up to them. I said, "Hi, can I play with you guys? Can I be friends with you guys?" And they said, "No." And I said, "Why not?" "No." "Why not?" "No." They wouldn't give me an answer. They wouldn't explain why. They just said, "No, don't be friends with us." So I remember I went home to my mother and I said, "Mama, a lot of kids won't be friends with me today." I asked them if I could be friends with them. They said, "You can't join my group." I don't know why. And my mother's reaction was very powerful. I remember she didn't blame me, she didn't blame them, she didn't do anything big. Her reaction was very memorable for me. She said, "So what? So?" And then I said, "Well, they don't like me." She was like, "So you can find other friends." I was like, "But I need to be friends with them." "Why so?" Instead of telling me what to do, she logically pointed out to me what the healthy reaction was. And from kindergarten, that was the start of me realizing that if someone doesn't accept me, and this is for anybody, not just deaf people, if someone doesn't accept you for the way you are, why do you need to be friends with them? My mom didn't say, "他是不好人," "你不好." She just said, "So, okay, there's 200 people in your grade, why don't you make friends with other people?" And the next day I went to school and I made friends with someone else, and I was fine after that. It was a very powerful lesson as well. Go hand in hand. Sometimes your disadvantage is your greatest advantage, and sometimes your advantage is also your disadvantage. And it's absolutely true in the case of hosting the show Follow Alana. For example, you know that I'm deaf, I can't hear well, and that's going to be a challenge because we're going to find ourselves in many different environments, interacting with many different people. So oftentimes I can't hear the person that's talking to me, maybe because the environment's really noisy, or sometimes the person I'm talking to can't speak English. There's many, many challenges that come with not being able to hear fully or clearly. But you can also use your disadvantage to turn it into an advantage. So I know beforehand that I'm not going to be able to hear them well, or they might not speak English. What can I do as an advantage? That means I can prepare even more beforehand than I would have if I wasn't deaf. Now I know I'm not going to hear them, so what do? I prepare by doing extra research. I get to know the environment, the activity, the location really well. So even if I can't understand what the guest host is saying to me, I can still deliver to the audience, even if I can't understand them. A big reason why I'm able to listen and speak the way that I do is because of something called auditory verbal therapy, or AVT for short. And what it really focuses on is verbal therapy. So there's a lot of sounds that even with the cochlear implant I can't hear. So I got a lot of verbal training to be able to watch the sounds I make, to watch the tone, to listen really well. Something I really want to point out is that this is not the same as wearing glasses, in the sense that you put glasses on and you can see done. This one, you put it on and then they have to train you how to hear, because my hearing is not the same as yours. Well, I always thank my family and I always thank my parents because a big deal of my success, a big reason for my success comes from the fact that I was born with the family that I was. I mentioned the story to you of my mother's reaction and how many valuable lessons she's taught me. She had phenomenal hearing. I explained to you my mom spoke 7 languages fluently, so her hearing was super sharp, and she spent a great deal of my childhood really honing my listening and speaking skills. So actually the way I'm speaking to you, I can't hear as well as I'm speaking, but that's a lot of work on behalf of my mom and the verbal therapy I had growing up. So she really poured her resources, her heart into helping actually not only me, but also all the other children at the Yawen Foundation, because she took the resources that she learned from having a deaf daughter and she shared it with other families. So I think myself and a lot of other people have my mom to thank. Hours sometimes. A mantra that I often repeat to myself is get up, dress up, show up, and never give up.